Welcome to the Armchair Traveler. My name is Judy. I like to travel. I do this independently. So can you. Independent travelers do research. We plan. We visit new places. You don't have to do it on your own. I'm here to help. Today we're doing a deep dive into a very special daily event in Ypres, Belgium. For most of us, November 11th is celebrated as Armistice Day, Remembrance Day, or as Veterans Day in the United States. It's one day a year. Ypres does this every day of the year. To understand why Ypres carries out its last post every day of the year, and has done so since 1928, except during World War II, it helps to understand what happened to the city during the Great War. This is an image of the main square of Ypres before World War I. Ypres was an important market and trading town. The large building with the square tower set in the middle of the image isn't a cathedral, which is what I thought it was when I first visited. It's the Cloth Hall, a medieval commercial building that dates from the early 13th century and one of the largest commercial buildings of the Middle Ages, when it served as the main market and warehouse for the prosperous cloth industry. Beyond it and to the right is St. Martin's. No one lived in Ypres at the end of the war, except the soldiers who were tasked with defending it. There weren't any standing buildings, no water, no electricity, just rubble and dead bodies, along with plenty of unexploded ordnance. This image shows what it looked like about 1919. The city started rebuilding in 1920. This rare aerial image shows what the Cloth Hall looked like at the end of the Great War. I picked this photo because it also shows how badly damaged St. Martin's was, as well as all the completely destroyed buildings and I suspect houses surrounding the square. It was clearly taken from an airplane. This photograph shows what the Cloth Hall looks like now. It was completely rebuilt after World War I. You may be wondering how a city could be so badly damaged so long ago. The answer is artillery. Between 1914 and 1918, there were three major battles in and around Ypres, the second battle of which included the introduction of mustard or poison gas. We'll talk about this more in a different video, my Ypres City Walk. Estimates vary, but between 850,000 to 1 million casualties, military and civilian, occurred in and around the city. Geography made Ypres a target. It was between the German forces and the port of Calais. The city was mainly defended by the British and French forces. It never fell, but by war's end there was literally nothing left standing and no one living there. Over 100 years later, the Belgians aren't just digging up unexploded artillery, a tiny sample of which you see in this picture. They're still finding and trying to identify the bodies of the dead. The Belgians, and in particular the citizens of Ypres, have never forgotten the men who died in the defense of their city. They stage a dignified ceremony every evening of the year in their memory. Most of the world sets aside one day a year, November 11th, to honor the memory of those who fought in the Great War. In the United Kingdom, it's called Remembrance Day, as you can see in this illustration. You'll see ordinary Britons and politicians from all parties sporting bright red poppies. In France, it's called Armistice Day, but in French, of course. America remembers this as Veterans Day, but the holiday in America honors everyone who has ever served or is serving in the military. Unfortunately, wearing poppies has gone out of fashion. Citizens began rebuilding Ypres in 1920. In 1928, the city finished building a memorial called the Menin Gate. You can see the view from both inside and outside of this rather striking building from the photographs that I took. Inside the gate, and sadly not visible in my photograph, is a memorial to the defenders. There are memorial stones all over this part of the city. The Menin Gate honors casualties from the forces of New Zealand, Australia, Canada, India, South Africa, and the United Kingdom who died in the defense of the city. Sometimes, as seen on the left of this image, those who died have never been properly identified and are known only by their units. Others are known by name. Their names are engraved inside the gate. The daily ceremony is called the last post. Everyone who is in the city is invited, and all forces are honored, not just the English or the French, but the Germans and everyone else, as you can see from the text in this memorial plaque. This is something that everyone takes very seriously. When I was there, even the kids were quiet. Here's the best photo I took of this event. I put my camera away after this because I didn't feel right videoing it. Somehow it didn't seem like a good thing to do. You can find videos all over YouTube. The ceremony can vary a bit from day to day depending on who's available. On some days, they do an extended version, including a wreath laying. The ceremony follows a very predictable schedule. At 7:30, the city closes the Menin Gate to all traffic. Depending on the time of year, hundreds to thousands of people gather to watch the impressive and terribly sad ceremony. In good weather in summer, they even put up a jumbotron in the main square so the overflow can watch from there. The visitors all take this very seriously. Silence prevails, along with overwhelming sadness. At the end of the ceremony, someone reads what's called an exhortation. It's a poem meant to honor those who have gone before, and I thought you might enjoy hearing it. They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Thank you for traveling with me today. If you think this video is interesting or helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. It's free to you, but it will help the channel grow. If you want to dig deeper, most of my video blogs have more information. You can read it on my WordPress blog site. The address is photosblog.photos.blog. Finally, if you'd like to keep up with new posts and video blogs, follow me on Twitter, where my handle is @armchair2022. I'll be tweeting updates for my new posts, and when I begin traveling again, we'll take you along virtually in short form by Twitter.